Hello, I'm your psychological mentor, Park Seni. So, everyone, these days the world always feels uncertain, nothing seems concrete, and we don't really know how things will unfold in the future. We are living in an age of uncertainty. There are quite a lot of people who end up feeling lost and anxious in this way. I used to think about this a lot myself since I was young. In this rapidly changing and uncertain era, what on earth should I believe in? Should I believe in religion? Believing in religion could be helpful for some people in certain situations. And then, should I trust my parents? Of course, trusting your parents is a given. But even my parents were scammed, not that they wanted to be, of course, but they still ended up being scammed. And at one point, our family debt exceeded 200 million won. During times like that, I really didn't know what I should believe in. Even if I believe in someone, it's not like that person is going to do something for me. So what should I believe in? In the end, after thinking it over and over, I realized that the only thing I could truly rely on was knowledge. I understood that only by trusting in knowledge, correct knowledge, could I bring about change in my life. So I decided to trust in knowledge. Let us trust in the knowledge that comes from ourselves. Trust in knowledge. From that point on, I started spending a lot of time in the library, reading all sorts of books and doing a lot of that kind of thing. But is it really enough to just trust in knowledge? Yes, it is. But over time, people even start to lose faith in knowledge itself. Everyone, I'm not particularly strong in Chinese characters, but if you look at the word knowledge in Chinese characters, let's break it down one by one. The G character is made up of the character for arrow, combined with the character for mouth. It gives the impression of words shooting out of the mouth like arrows. That is the GI part. When you know something, knowledge is when what you know comes shooting out of your mouth like arrows. How about food? It combines the character for speech with the character for clay. You could interpret it as inscribing words onto clay, something along those lines. If in the past writing was inscribed onto something like clay in this way, then knowledge is when words come out rapidly like a machine gun. What you know shoots out of your mouth like arrows, and you are able to properly inscribe and write it onto clay as text. That is what we call knowledge. So for something to truly become knowledge, it's not just about memorizing and reciting it. It has to go beyond that level to a higher state. In other words, it becomes knowledge only when you reach a state where it flows out of you unconsciously, effortlessly, as if it just pours out. And once you've internalized that knowledge to the point where you can effortlessly apply it at any time, as if it's completely your own, then all you have to do is make use of it. When the knowledge that flows out of you and your ability to use it come together, people will be completely captivated by your intense focus and immersion. Their critical attitude and resistance toward you will be greatly reduced. They'll be drawn to you, moved by you, and they'll feel that paying you is worth every penny. They'll even thank you for making them feel that way. If things turn out that way, the world would be an incredibly beautiful place. For you guys, as long as you keep sharing that kind of knowledge, more and more people will become supportive. And more people will say they were moved and are willing to pay you. How happy and joyful would that be? In the end, it seems like the only thing we can truly rely on is knowledge. Some say you should trust your friends. We're not even friends. The reason I succeeded is actually because I kept my distance from friends. What does this mean? Are you saying it's something to brag about not having friends? It's not that I don't have any friends. All my friends are people who have already succeeded. Some of them may be older than me, and some may be a bit younger. But now I can become friends right away with people who have succeeded. That's because it's easy to find common ground with successful people. I'm talking about when I was younger. Back then, friends weren't helpful to me. Whenever I met up with friends, we would always end up talking about things that weren't working out, or mostly about why we couldn't do something, lots of negative talk. That's when I realized I needed to distance myself from my friends. And because I kept that distance, I was definitely able to have time to properly hone my knowledge. I didn't go to any reunions or anything like that. And after graduating from Beijing High School, there is a group chat for Beijing alumni. But it's not that I don't like my friends, it's just that I don't really have a chance to talk to them separately. I was invited to the group chat, but I haven't really talked much in it. And while I might see them once in a while by chance, honestly, it's been over 20 years and I've only seen their faces maybe once. We don't meet up often at all. But the people I really need to see, I meet them whenever necessary and we have good, constructive conversations. Everyone, you should trust in knowledge first. It's not about friends. You need to trust knowledge first. And only then will you gain true friends, true colleagues, and truly good things that you can enjoy. From now on, polarization will only increase because, unfortunately, there are more and more people who trust in knowledge and those who do not. So, I sincerely hope that you will trust in knowledge, acquire expertise in your field, and actively make use of it. If you are currently facing difficulties, I hope you can overcome them through the power of knowledge. Alright, that's all for today. As always, please subscribe, like, and set the notification bell. Stay strong. See you next time.